All right. All right, guys. Sorry about that little bit of a technical difficulty. Ended up having a little bit of issues with my microphone there. But here tonight we do have the Core Racing League at Homestead, Miami Speedway in the Silver Crown cars, as this is playoff race number 2 of round number 2. And tonight's going to be a good race here tonight. The track temperature is going to be 81 degrees with air temp being 79 degrees and a 10-mile-an-hour wind gust. So far, it is, I believe, Chris Hamilton leading the points going into tonight's race. He did win last week, so he doesn't have to worry about getting a win here tonight. He's already locked himself into the championship. Well, that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring up our qualifying order so far, and it looks like John Nobinger is your pole leader with a 30.469. Carl Henwick in second. Aaron Smith in third, Tim Thompson in fourth, Kevin Foster in fifth, Thad Marshall in sixth, Jimmy Covert in seventh, eighth is Chris Hamilton, ninth Paul Butler, 10th John Crane, and 11th is going to be Abhi Vishwavasan. Friday night we did have a Veterans Day, so got to give a big shout out to Jimmy Covert and Christopher Hamilton, our two guys in here that run in Core, are both veterans and or serving as active as of right now. Got to give another big shout out to Dave Lore, as he was a veteran himself. Jimmy and Dave, I believe, being both with the Navy, and then Chris with the Marines. So got to give a big shout out to those guys. Hopefully they were able to enjoy a good Veterans Day. And if I'm sounding a little bit weird to you guys, I'm coming off of being sick, as it's not been a good week for me. You know, it is having a lot of problems with being sick, and then getting everything done that way. It's always been fun to have, and always out here trying to make this look fun. Now, the Silver Crown cars, though, I've only ran them once. It was a Season 4 Premier Series at Dover, and I was one of the final 5, you could say, in the championship hunt. Was not able to get the championship, but did finish 5th out of all the guys that were in it. Big shout out to them, as Dover's a hard track, but tonight we're at Homestead, Miami Speedway. And, running Homestead, it could go one of two ways. It could either be really loose getting into the corner, really loose center, and really loose exit, or it could be really tight. I did not do any laps on this track here tonight. I'm not exactly sure what the fuel load is going to be. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Carl Handwerk actually sponsored tonight's race. So I guess what better way to do it than, Carl, you be the in-race reporter for tonight?
We could do that. Yeah,
See?
that sounds fun. This is going to be an interesting race here. These cars are. It's not going to be like a super speedway race. When you're in the draft here, you do have to let off a little bit, but it's 190, 180 miles an hour, and it's open cockpit. It's white knuckle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, coming from us, season 4 running these cars at Dover. I mean, we already got a little bit of heads up on how these cars drive. Not sure if iRacing has even come out with a bigger update with them since then, but not a lot of people run these cars, so it's definitely a good sign to see these cars still still live, and still want to be driven.
Yeah, and it's kind of a shame. This is one of the cars that they keep coming out with these new, just in my opinion, dumb cars. Like even like the new Porsche Mission, like the all electric car, it's not getting any love, and I love seeing it. I mean, I know like a couple people in here drive it, but I feel like those couple people are some of the only couple people on iRacing driving it. You got some other cars that are just it just makes no sense. I mean, there's so many good cars on here. If they would just constantly keep updating the good cars, this one it never took on. This is one that's it's a fun car, especially you take it to ovals. I mean, it's made for ovals. I mean, I heard some guys say it can make it work on road. We've tried it, tested it before. It's a beast, but I mean, there's a lot of ovals you can go as big as here. I think we've even tried testing it at like places like Daytona. You can do it, and you can go as small as it's made for tracks like Lucas Oil. About half-mile track. So this thing works pretty much everywhere, and you could probably make a league with just these things. And it's weird because it's only got one gear. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about missing a gear. If you missed a gear, you get out of neutral. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, these cars are always fun to watch in person and race on iRacing. So, I mean, before we let you get ready to get down to the white knuckle grip and have your arms be tired, because we that's exactly what happened at Dover. Give us a little bit of rundown on your tires are going to be a big factor tonight's race, and how many laps could you get on a full tank of fuel?
It's looking like around 50-ish. Like and that was I think mostly by myself. It's probably closer to. I mean, actually, yeah, like 48s was what I was getting. So probably closer to 50s. When it comes to being in the draft. So gonna have to pit one time at least for fuel, and getting into the pits is not gonna be fun. I mean, this thing getting woed down. You got no gears to help you slow down. So it's all brakes, and you better watch that back end stepping out on you, because I'm sure if you watched any of practice guys trying to practice that, and the back end was definitely kicking out. So it'll be fun if we have to pit under green here. Tire wise, they go off pretty quickly, but I don't think it's necessarily them burning off. I think it's just heating up. I didn't do any kind of long runs. I didn't really get a chance to, but even on like a 5 lap run, it was still like 98s on the front right. But the temps were starting to climb up there, so I think it's more just the tires overheating, because this track does have some banking, but not enough for you to just hold it damn near wide open, which is what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, Carl, we're going to go ahead and let you get back in there, hang out with the guys, have some fun tonight, though. There's, possibility going to the championship here tonight. So, once you go down there, have some fun, put on a good show, and hopefully we'll be talking to you up here on the podium after tonight's race.
Sounds like a plan, buddy.
All right. All right, guys, that was our...
Yeah, they're not very big.
I ain't worth time killing them little fuckers.
Who is?
All right. Well, I'm back here in the broadcast booth. You ended up getting a little bit of Jimmy Covert action there. Hit the wrong button. Dragged myself up to the scene with everybody else out there. We're going to go ahead and run down our qualifying order here as I get ready to show you here. You got John Nobinger starting on the pole. Carl Hannework, P number 2. Aaron Smith in 3rd. Tim Thompson in 4th. Kevin Foster in 5th. Thad Marshall in 6th. Jimmy Covert in 7th. Chris Hamilton in 8th. Paul Butler in 9th. John Crane in 10th. And Abhi Vishwasam in P number 11. While these guys are getting ready to go, and it looks like they are getting ready to grid, we're going to go ahead and bring this down, go back to this area right here. I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys up the track map so you guys can see exactly what I get to see. And we're going to go through these beautiful paint schemes that these guys have brought out here for us tonight. Let me get to this right here. John Nobinger, that number 44, the Pork Chop Express Silver Crown. The number 18, Core Racing League, Carl Handwerk, Premier Series. Tim Thompson in that 05 Pennzoil Snap-on. Aaron Smith with that bright yellow banana. Kevin Foster, the number 8 Budweiser. 87 of that Thad Marshall. Chris Hamilton in the Vet Motorsports Core Racing Marines, the Few of the Proud. Number 64, the number 11 of John Crane in that Hot Wheels. The 77 Bass Pro Shops Mobile 1 Beast State, number 77 of Paul Butler. In the 08 Golf of Abhi Vishwasam. Excuse me. Pace car is off. These guys are going to lead them into turn number 1. They can't go until Barney waves the green flag, and there they go. Off to the races. I did hear Abby wanted to try to do a little bit of bump drafting going into the straightaways. Wasn't able to see if it worked. But you see these guys give it a little bit of room. Carl's going to go from the top to the inside on the number 44, John Obinger, and they're kind of just scattering out up here. It looks like Aaron Smith up to P number 3. He's going to tuck in behind Carl Hanwork. He's going to stay behind him. Tim Thompson, the number 05, holding off the 8 of Kevin Foster, but Aaron Smith
still on the back bumper almost of that number 18. And Carl Hanwork sets the fastest lap time tonight with a 36.9. Back here in the back, though, Chris Hamilton running the
inside. Right behind the number 87 of Thad Marshall, going to come down in front of the number 14 of Jimmy Covert. Take that little bit of run away from him. It looks like we have a car up in the wall. Maybe it was John Crane. He was in the wall just a little bit, able to keep it straight, though. He's a little bit loose. Not sure if he's got a little bit of tire damage there, but Jimmy Covert looking to the inside of the number 77. 77 running that outside, able to get around. Jimmy Covert almost collects each other, but up front they are still 2 by 2, as Carl Hadework is actually a lone man out there. It looks like the 44 and the 70 are side by side, and then you got the 8 and the number 05 of Tim Thompson side by side, and then right behind them you got the number 87 of Thad Marshall, and then behind a Thad, you got the 77 and the 64 trying to use a little bit of that drafting skill to get up there to the front. And, you know, like Carl said, it's definitely... Oh, the 05 into the wall and flipping! That may bring out the first caution as he is still trying to get that car under control. And you can see just how quickly they can go from good to worse. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a replay because it didn't show that he was wrecking. Go ahead and stop it here and turn it to a chase cam on this number 05. We're going to go ahead and slow it down. He just gets up on the wall, rides it, doing a little bit of a Herbie fully loaded off the wall or off the ground completely, comes back down, hits the front end, and Paul Butler says, move, get out of my way, and goes up underneath of Tim Thompson. As we are back to the live scene here, we're going to go ahead and jump up to our leaders. And Kevin Foster has made it up to P number 2. Carl Handwork on the outside, Kevin on the inside. The 70 on the outside following Carl. Has not left that back bumper of the number 18, but here comes John Obinger. He's probably going to put it 3 wide. Thought better of it. Tucks back behind the number 70 of Aaron Smith. John Obinger has a couple wins on the season here. Same with Carl Handwork and Chris Hamilton along with Aaron Smith. And these guys are almost 3 wide going through 1 and 2. Coming out is going to be Nobinger, still stuck behind the number 70 machine, not able to get around him. As Thad Marshall makes his way up to P number 4, looking for P number 3. And Chris Hamilton is just sitting back there, just riding, waiting for something big to happen and try and navigate his way through this field. Kevin Foster is going to get credited for leading that lap as he got around the number 18 on lap number 8 of 85. As, it's kind of cool to see that number 8 machine up there in the lead on lap number 8. He's able to lead that lap. And Thad Marshall is going to pull along the rear of the number 8, trying to get around the number 18. So far, not able to do so. Carl running that outside, keeping him honest. What does Kevin do? Does he block the inside? Does he go up and block the outside run? And he's just going to keep it to the inside. And that's something about Kevin Foster. He'll probably back off, let somebody else get some more laps led. He just wants to lead one in the early going and then try to be there at the end of it. As we have, looks like a 7-car breakaway. Thad Marshall still trying to get up there, get a lap led. As Jimmy Covert and the 70 of Aaron Smith are side by side. Now they're clear of each other, but now Jimmy's got the number 44 on his outside. Carl Hayward's going to make it 3 wide. 77 on the inside, 8 on the outside. The 8 backs out of it to be safe. And that was a daring move by the number 18, able to keep it all straight and clean. And Paul Butler back up to P number 1, but Thad Marshall on the outside going to have a little bit of the run, gets a little bit loose. What does Carl do? Carl backs off just a little bit, lets him regain it. Carl is sitting in P number 4 as of right now. He got credited for leading that lap of the number 87, able to lead one lap, but now he's still got a lot of people on that inside. It looks like they're just still trying to jockey for position, see exactly who wants to go where. And I think with these guys being only on lap 11 out of 85, everybody's just going to be a little bit patient as they're still going almost 2 to 3 wide going into these corners, able to keep it off of each other. And you see Chris Hamilton back there. He's running that apron super low, trying to get a good run off. Chris Hamilton making a move on that number 8 of Kevin Foster, almost 3 wide again. Aaron Smith backs out of it. He's going to go right back up behind that number 18. And it seems like wherever the number 18 is, that's where the 70 is going to be. Now up here at the front, John Nobinger on the inside of the 87 and the 18 of Carl Handwerk and Thad Marshall. But new race later, Jimmy Covert and Paul Butler drag racing down the stripe. It looks like Paul Butler was going to get the lap led there. And now you see most of the cars are up on the high side, only 3 on the inside. Where does Kevin go? Does he want to try to even this out? Or does he want to try to get back up to the front or pull Chris Hamilton up to the front? As these guys are still green. You heard about 48 to 50 laps depending on when they want to pit. And it looks like Paul Butler almost got in the wall. Jimmy Covert's going to come around to lead lap number 15. And here comes John Nobinger back to the inside. He's going to take it away from Jimmy Covert. John Nobinger using that apron to his advantage. Thad Marshall's going to try to do a little bit of a crossover. Not able to be there on the back bumper. And now you got 4 cars on the top. 3 on the top now. 3 on the bottom. Jimmy Covert's going to do a little bit of a block on the number 44. The 44's got to drive it. And we're actually going to hop on board with the number 64 here. Give you guys a view on what Chris Hamilton's seeing in front of him. And the 18 and the 77 get together. The 77 is going to go into the wall. That's going to hurt him. Not going to drop back too many places. As look like a little bit of netcode between the two of the 18 and the 77. But riding along here with Chris Hamilton. And you see there, Aaron Smith's trying to run that inside. Nobody's going down there to help pull him with the draft. Chris Hamilton's just trying to stay back just in case stuff gets a little bit spicy. He's got enough time to slow up and not run in the back of somebody. Chris Hamilton is a fellow racer that I've ran with since I've joined Core, and he made his comeback. The 87 is going to get passed on the outside by the number 18 of Carl Handwerk. Move Carl Handwerk up to P number 3. As he's still trying to work on the number 44 of John Nobinger. So as of right now, you got the CRN broadcasters 1-2, and then Nobinger's trying to spoil that party and run P number 3 as riding on aboard with the number 64. And you can see he's getting right up close to that back bumper of Kevin Foster, backing off just a little bit. Doesn't want to try to use that bump drafting technique just yet. And, you know, with these guys being behind other people, they could be saving a little bit more fuel than what other people could imagine. And, you know, as of right now, it looks like Chris Hamilton's just content running where he is. You know, you got Abhi Vishwavasan and Paul Butler back there behind these guys. They're just running to run some laps. I'm going to go ahead and go back out to a different view here for you guys. and almost 3 wide. The 70 machine's going to get passed on the inside by the number 44 of John Obinger. So John Obinger's trying to move himself and Jimmy Covert up to P1 and P2. But looks like that high side is the way to go. So looking here, looks like Aaron's content running in the middle. Carl's running. Looks like Carl is
content running about a lane up from Aaron. Aaron's just trying to get a little bit more draft for these guys up here. Looking at it right now, though, it could
still be anybody's race. A late race caution could really hinder everything and bring everybody back together, which that's what we love to see. We love to see the hard battling that these guys are doing. Make sure you guys, if you aren't already, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you guys like what you're seeing, or if you guys have anybody out there in the YouTube chat that you want to see, make sure you leave a comment in the rate or the stream, and I will go over to that person's car. I'll give you a nice good look of that person's car. But if you guys aren't already, make sure you like, share, subscribe to CRN, as we got a lot of good racing coming up throughout the whole week. Tomorrow night we'll be with the HTL Apex Series as their off season is starting to wind it down. They got 4 races left. They got Worldwide Technology this week. They do race the next gens. It's going to be a fun race to call and be a part of. Tuesday night, we got the ARCA series, as myself and Ricky will be back up in the booth as ARCA goes Pocono and Talladega racing. Wednesday, no broadcast for us up here in the CRN broadcast booth. But Thursday, we'll be back with 87s. As we get ready to tackle the Nashville Super Speedway. And then Sunday, we'll be right back here with Monza in the 87 cars. That is my track that I ended up picking for these guys to run. And it's definitely going to be a doozy, as Jimmy and Carl made me run that. Oh, they touch! The 14 and the 87 get together, able to keep it straight and keep it clean and green. But that was a death wobble if I've ever seen one. But now I get to watch Carl and Jimmy struggle as they get ready to tackle 50 laps of Monza left turning oval in the 87s. So that's another stream that you guys don't want to miss. We have been doing the CRN broadcasting since February. We are closing in on our goal of 300 subscribers. We only need, I think, 19 more, and we hit our goal by the end of the year. Make sure you guys give a shout out or a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. And if you guys have any other future leagues that you want broadcasted, make sure you message myself, Dylan McDonald, Carl Henwick, or Jimmy Covert, and we can get you guys set up with a couple of broadcasts throughout your season. But back to the racing here so far. The number 14 and the 87 got together just a little bit. Aaron Smith running the middle, and Kevin Foster running the outside. It is Carl Henwick up at the point as of right now. Nobinger's going to slide up in front of the number 64 of Chris Hamilton, leave Jimmy Covert down on the inside by himself. Kevin Foster was looking to make it 3 wide going into turn number 1 and 2. Thought better of it and backed out. As it is Carl Henwick in P number 1, Thad Marshall in 2nd, Aaron Smith in 3rd. 4th is Jimmy Covert or even Kevin Foster. 7th or 6th will be John Obinger. 7th is going to be Chris Hamilton. 8th, Abhi Vishwasam. 9th, Paul Butler. At 10th, John Crane. And riding 1 lap down is the number 05 of Tim Thompson. I want to say thank you to everybody that has reached out to me on the Discord side, Facebook side. Just know that if I didn't get back to your message or anything like that, just know that I do greatly appreciate it. As the start of this week was not the greatest for myself. Lost had my grandfather pass away on a Friday, and told Carl, I want to get my mind off of it. Got to get up there in the booth. Got to be there for core, and so definitely going to be up here in the booth to help me cope with it. So just want to give a big shout out to everybody that has reached out to myself, give me the condolences, and we are back out here racing once again. As it looks like Aaron Smith was able to get around to Jimmy Cover. Jimmy Cover is going to drop all the way back to P number 6. Aaron Smith, Kevin Foster, your top 4 right there, nose to tail. Carl Handwork leading, Thad Marshall, and you see everybody's migrating to the top. They don't want anything to do with the inside, and that's definitely something that you want to not see. It's a multiple groove track, but everybody just wants to stay in the draft, and it looks like that's what everybody's doing. Now they're migrating back down to the bottom. So one turn they're wanting to be up high. The next one they want to be down low. Chris Hamilton's still riding back there in P number 7, just trying to keep the wheels on that thing. Got to give a big shout out to Chris Hamilton, as I recently bought some pedals off of that guy and has turned my racing around 100%. Not doing the greatest on Thursday nights in the 87s, but hey, learning curve to new pedals, I guess. Looks like Kevin Foster's going to go to the inside of the number 44 of John Nobinger. He's going to take that position away, and we could have a good battle. Not going to be able to get clear, so Kevin Foster moves back down to save himself from spinning and wrecking the guy behind him. He's going to dive it in, going to slide up in front of the number 44. So move Kevin Foster up to P number 4. And you can tell these guys are getting a little bit tight as these tires are starting to wear. And John Omier back down to the inside, not able to get around Kevin Foster or get to his door. He's there now. Can Nobinger do what Kevin Foster did and get around him on the inside? It looks like he's not going to be able to. With that pull from the number 70 machine, it looks like Kevin Foster able to do it. John Obinger is going to dive it into turn number 3 and 4. Not going to be clear as of yet. Kevin Foster is going to rally back around on the outside. And as these two get to battling, that's going to bring up the number 14 and the number 64 of Chris Hamilton. So that's another thing you want to see. Slide job by the number 44. Gets in the apron just a little bit. He's going to clear Kevin Foster. Kevin Foster is going to give him the spot. So move Kevin Foster or John Nobinger back up to P number 4. Kevin Foster in 5th. While these guys are going green, we'll go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a "you love to hear it," and you guys get to enjoy the sounds of these beautiful sprint cars, or Silver Crowns, I should say.
All right, guys, we are back, and as we came back, it looked like Aaron Smith had a little bit of trouble. We're going to go ahead and look back here. Oh, we got to rewind it just a little bit more for you guys here. See exactly what happened to the number 70 machine. We're going to go ahead and slow it down. He just gets a little bit tight, gets up into the wall, does a little bit of a Tim Thompson, gets up there, rides it a little bit, 50-50 grind. And right there, it's just all she wrote. Noses it back into the wall, all four off of the wall into the catch fence, noses it down on the ground, and gets sent upside down and across. Ends up crossing the start finish line upside down. And goes a little bit higher than the catch fence there. And, that's just something that you don't really ever want to see. As I believe these guys are still green. In fact, they are. They just went around the number 70 of Aaron Smith, and that was a hard hit for the number 70 machine of Aaron Smith. Got to give a big shout out to Barry Kistler out there in chat. Same with Mr. David Tilford. Thank you guys very much for tuning into tonight's broadcast of the Premier Series. If you guys want to get into anything on Core Racing League, go to www.coreracingleague.com. Hit apply now. Find the series that you'd want to do. Sundays is the Premier. Mondays will be the GT3, GT4s as their season is getting ready to start to dwindle down. Tuesday is going to be the ARCA Menard series. They're getting ready to go into playoffs after this week. Thursdays will be the 87s, 10 race season, $10 to enter. ARCA, 23 races, $5 to enter. Premier, $10 series. And then that's all the racing that we do here. Actually, the GT3s, if you were to do the GT3s on Monday night, it is a $5 buy-in. And if you did the GT4s, it is free. One-time fee. Don't have to pay every week. Just one lone fat-free fee. Excuse me. And you will be good to go racing. Make sure you guys go to www.coreracingleague.com. Hit apply now. Tell them Dylan McDonald sent you. As we are 49 laps out of 85. And it looks like Carl Handwerk is your race leader. John Obinger back up to P number 2. The biggest mover so far is going to be the number 08 of Avi Vishivatsam, up 3 positions. As it looks like the 44, John Obinger's got a little bit of damage on that right front. Not sure exactly what happened to him, but falls back to P number 3. Sorry, guys. Still dealing with a little bit of a sickness there. So if you guys end up hearing a little bit of no talking, it is because I'm taking a drink. Got to keep my throat hydrated. Oh, we had a big accident going into pit lane. We're going to go ahead and rewind this and see exactly what happened going into pit road. As we get ready to look on a board and see exactly what happened here. And we're going to follow along with the number 44 of John Obinger. You can see here he's just getting into pit lane. Carl Handwerk ends up spinning out in front of John Obinger. John Obinger hits his brakes. He spins out as well. They both go pirouetting into the wall. Obinger hits Carl Handwerk. Carl Handwerk goes flying. John Obinger spins it out. And the 14 of Carl, Jimmy Culver, here he comes. He's going to miss the number 44 of John Obinger. He's going to just spin it out ever so slightly. And then coming in hot and slow is that number 64 of Chris Hamilton. Still no, there's no caution out on track as Carl Handwerk is back out there on the racetrack. Looks like he hurried up, got in, got his fuel, and took his fast repair, as that was a hard hit for the number 18. And you see it there. Maybe he didn't take a fast repair. I don't think Carl Handwerk did take a fast repair because that nose looks a little bent on both sides. Quick look at the number 64's nose. Yeah, the 64's nose. Actually, we'll go ahead and we'll go to a rear chase. We'll actually get a better view of this. Yeah, the 18's nose is... The 18's nose is a little bit bent there. Doesn't look too bad as he's out to a little bit of a lead over our second and third place of Kevin Foster and Chris Hamilton. Chris Hamilton is P number 2, got around the number 8 of Kevin Foster. Going to go ahead and go back to this battle here. And these two are going to be battling until they can catch that number 18 of Carl Handwerk. Ooh, sorry everybody. Out here on track with the number 8 and 64. They're doing a little bit of a battle using that bump drafting game, but here comes the number 8. He's going to look to the inside of the number 64. He's going to have the run going into turn number 1 and 2. Chris Hamilton might just let him have it, and he does. So move Kevin Foster back up to Pete number 2. And Chris Handwerk back, Chris Hamilton back to P number 3. Can't believe I just said Chris Handwerk. As these guys are still doing a little bit of a battle on their own. And it looks like Tim Thompson is coming out of pit lane this time by. As we look on the board here. Looks like there's an issue with the number 05. We're going to go ahead and look at the number 05 of Tim Thompson here. As he... No, he just rode around the bottom to stay out of everybody's way. That's just something that Tim Thompson does a lot with these guys. As these guys are getting ready to come up. They're over the halfway point, so... I think right now this is where go time is for the number 8, the 18, as these three are the cars to watch, as Kevin Foster is going to go to the inside of Carl Handwerk and move Kevin Foster back up to the lead. So Kevin Foster out to the lead, but not able to get clear of Carl Handwerk. Carl Handwerk's going to come around the outside. He's going to regain the lead just for a quick second, but look how much deeper the number 8's diving it in the corner. He's going to get around Carl Handwerk, but here comes Carl Handwerk to the inside. Kevin Foster up on the outside. What can these guys do? There's a guy back there called Chris Hamilton waiting for these guys to tangle up, slow each other down, and Chris Hamilton will end up taking that position. And we have another crossover from the number 8 and the 18, as these guys just can't figure out which line they want to run. And now Carl Handwerk is looking to bow out of that fight. And nope, here he goes again to the inside of Kevin Foster coming off of turn number 4. Kevin Foster running the outside, letting Carl Handwerk go by, and these guys are battling and jockeying for position every which way you can. as these guys just keep flipping back and forth with their positions. And Carl Henwick back down the inside. This is going to be a great race. Just a little over 20 laps to go. And these two are battling like it's the very last lap. These two still doing battle. Chris Hamilton has fallen off to a 1.1 second gap from these two leaders as they have finally figured out where they want to run, and Kevin Foster's being competitive in P number 2 as these guys are still going to get out there. Kevin Foster right on the back bumper of Carl Henwick, trying to find a way around. Not able to do so just yet, but I think maybe Kevin Foster is just waiting for that perfect time, as these guys are with 20 laps to go as they cross start finish line. Well, getting ready to start cross start finish line. So there we go, 65 out of 85 laps, 20 laps to go. These two doing battle. Chris Hamilton has fallen off to a 1.5 second gap, and it's anything can happen though. They are coming up on lap traffic. They got the number 08. Looks like the 14 and the 70 all in front of them. So, you know, with these guys battling, you got to really know where to put your car at where the lapped cars aren't. And, you know, Carl Henwick is actually making this race work in his favor, even with that little bit of a banged up front end. And, you know, normally whenever you see a race car with a front end as badly damaged as Carl, well, not really badly damaged, but, you know, damaged like Carl Henwick's, normally they, you know, normally the car with the damage doesn't want to lead the pack as they'll be a little bit slower. And then, you know, you'll want the guys with the fresher cars out front, and then you'll pull up the rear because you'll be able to suck right back up to their back bumper. So definitely want to see what these guys can do as we reach lap number 70 in just 3 short laps. Coming off of turn number 4 is still Carl Henwick out front. Carl Henwick still leading this race. Kevin Foster still trying to find a way around Carl Henwick. And it looks like Kevin Foster is running a little bit quicker than our race leader, but that is in the draft as well. We may see a little bit of a dive with a slide job coming with at least one lap to go. Lap 70, so 15 laps to go. Caution free as of right now. And these guys are putting on one hell of a show. If you guys want to see racing like this, make sure you tune in tomorrow night, as those guys over the HTL Apex series are going to put on one hell of a show. Wish I was racing it, but I am focusing my racing on Friday nights in the MSRL Next Gen Cup Series, as they go to the Magic Mile of New Hampshire in the next gen cars. I decided to take off the rest of the APAC challenge to focus on that, and decided to hop up in the booth for Mr. Blake Henderson, the owner of the HTL iRacing Series. Kevin Foster now trying to find anywhere he possibly can to get a better run off of the corner than Carl Handenberg. He's going to run a lane higher. Not going to be able to get there, but going to be right on the back bumper coming out of the corner. And, you know, it's going to get spicy here. Anything can happen. You know, Kevin Foster goes to make a dive. Carl Handenberg sees it a little bit too late. They touch. And, you know, the guy back there 3 seconds back, Christopher Hamilton, will be able to get the race win. But now, here's where it gets interesting. You got Abhi Vishwasam, which, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be pinned up top. Now goes low. Now runs the middle. He's going to be pinned to the outside. And Kevin Foster and Carl Handenberg are going to follow each other around on the inside. Now they're going to catch up to that number 70 machine of Aaron Smith. Not a good run by the number 70 machine. Pete, number 6, as of right now, he's getting ready to be one lap down. Kevin Foster's got a little bit of help with Abhi Vishwasam, but Abhi's not close enough to Kevin Foster, as Carl Handenberg is keeping that gap at 1.2. Looking here now, 10 laps to go for these drivers, and they're still nose to tail. You got a 3-second gap between the front two, and then third, a 15-second gap between first and fourth, a 17-second gap between fifth and first, and then a 30-second gap. Well, a 1-lap gap between first and sixth. Aaron Smith going to use that outside to his advantage. Kevin Foster going to follow Aaron Smith. Use Aaron Smith's draft to try to get a run on Carl Handenberg. What does Kevin Foster do? He's going to try to stick it 3 wide. He's going to drop back behind Carl Handenberg. He's going to go to the inside of Carl Handenberg. He's going to be there going into turn number 3 and 4. They're side by side going into 3 and 4. Move Kevin Foster back up to the lead. But here comes the rebuttal from the number 18. He gets a good run coming out of turn number 3 and 4. He's to the inside of the number 8. And there is 7 laps to go. Ooh, or 8. Ooh. Yeah, I can't math today, guys. I'm sorry. Just can't math. You know, it just happens. As, we're looking here, it looks like the number 18 is still on the inside of the number 8 machine of Carl Handenberg. Kevin Foster on the outside of the number 8. He's trying to get a good run off turn number 3 and 4. He's going to get around Carl Handenberg, but they're still side by side. Going into turn number 1 and 2, Carl Handenberg, even with that little bit of a nose damage, holding strong on that inside of the number 8 machine, keeping it clean and green. And I think the way it's going, Kevin Foster's got the biggest advantage because he's got a little bit of draft help with the number 70 machine, but not able to pull away. These guys are going to fight tooth and nail for that win to lock themselves into the next round, well, championship round. And Carl Handenberg, he's going to drop back behind the number 8 of Kevin Foster. Carl is going to run that inside all the way down by the apron. He's going to get a good run right to the back bumper, almost gets into the back of him. He's going to shoot low. Nope. Carl Handenberg stays right behind Kevin Foster, right on the back bumper, giving him a little bit of a shot going into 3 and 4. And Kevin Foster is still the race leader, as Carl Handenberg is now trying to find a way around Kevin Foster. Kevin Foster, though, starting to pull a little bit of a gap up to 0.15, 16. As Carl Handenberg's running that apron. Coming around to take 5 laps to go, and anything is still out there on the table. Carl Handenberg doesn't want to go down without a fight. And we know these guys can battle pretty hard. That gap is up to 5 seconds between Carl Handenberg and the number 8 of Kevin Foster. Kevin Foster trying to take that low line away from Carl Handwerk, not let him get a big enough gap or a run on him. Kevin Foster doesn't know where to go. Look at that bump drafting down into turn number 3 and 4. Carl's going to miss his letting off point just a little bit, able to get it back down underneath him. Kevin Foster still your race leader. Carl Handwerk up to is in second position. And then the 08 and the number 70 machine of Aaron Smith and Abhi Vishuvasam, they are one lap down. So those guys are not battling for position. It's just between the 8 and the 18 as we have 3 laps to go this time by. Looking at it right now, I think, I don't know if Carl Handwerk has anything for the number 8. Go ahead and put your predictions down now. Who do you guys got? You got the 8 of Kevin Foster. You got the 18 of Carl Handwerk. We will find out here in 2 short laps as they are on lap 84 out of 85. And Carl Handwerk's going to go to the outside. A daring move by the number 18. Almost gets into the wall, able to keep it off. Not going to get a good enough run that he thought he would. And he's just going to fall right back in line with that number 8 machine of Kevin Foster. He's got to make up that 0.2 seconds of a gap. Oh, the 11's loose in front of the leaders. Does he keep it off the racing line? Last lap this time by. We've got a good battle on our hands. There's one final ditch effort from the number 18. What does he do with it? Where does the 11 go? Where does the 8 go? If they get to him going into turn number 3 and 4, and they do, John Crane's going to keep it up top. Carl Handwerk's not going to be able to get there, though. Kevin Foster's coming around turn number 4, and Kevin Foster will win Homestead Miami in the Silver Crowns. Second will be Carl Handwerk. Third, Chris Hamilton. Fourth, Paul Butler. Fifth, Jimmy Covert. Fifth, Aaron Smith. Seventh, Abhi Vishuvasam. 8th, Thad Marshall. 9th, John Nobinger. John Crane in 10th, and Tim Thompson rounding out your 11-car field as John Crane's getting a little bit tail happy back there. But I will have to say congrats to Mr. Abhi Vishuvasam to a stellar top 10. 2 more spots, and you would have had a top 5 there, good sir. Going to go ahead and get a beautiful look at that number 8 machine. I believe they're getting ready to do double burnouts. As we are looking here at the number 8 machine. Not able to get any burnouts on that number 8 machine, so he's just going to sit there. And there's a bunch of carnage behind him. Not exactly sure what just happened. But I believe the 18 and the 8 do a little bit of dual burnouts here. Going to see exactly what these two are going to do. Oh, they're going... Oh, okay. Well, looks like they might not be able to get the burnouts going. And it looks like Kevin Foster's just going to put it up into the wall and try to get that car to do a little bit of a burnout. Not able to do so. Carl Handwerk's going to just monster truck the number 8 machine of Kevin Foster. And as they're doing their burnouts, we're going to go ahead and get up these race results for you guys really quick. Qualifying results. That is wrong. Race. There we go. Race results are going to be as followed. Kevin Foster in first position. Carl Handwerk in second. Chris Hamilton in third. Paul Butler in fourth. Jimmy Covert in fifth. Aaron Smith in sixth. Abhi Vishuvasam in seventh. Thad Marshall in eighth. John Nobinger in ninth. John Crane in 10th. And rounding out your 11-car field will be the number 05 of Tim Thompson. going to go ahead and bring in our third place finisher of Chris.
For half the
This
race, I was
is
driving one-handed.
Dylan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, buddy. Well, you said last week you were going to put up a good fight there for, just the rest of this second round of playoffs. And, I mean, you were up there. You were just kind of riding around there. Kind of walk us through what you saw going into pit road.
Everyone was backwards. Felt like a road jam. I was like, am I doing this right? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Everyone was backwards. There was no clear line. I just found a way in and then came out, and yeah, most of the race is pretty uneventful for me. I think half of the race I was actually driving one-handed. That's how uneventful it was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you got the Silver Crown cars, they stick like glue. Unless depending on the track where you could get tight coming out of the corner, you get loose coming out of the corner, and it seemed like more people were getting it tight coming out of the corner than loose, as we've seen early in the race. Tim Thompson got up in the wall, and then later in the race we've seen Aaron Smith go full blown football out there, the number 70 machine.
Oh, I had a good view of that. I gave him a 7 because he didn't stick the landing.
Yeah, it just that is the stuff that happens. You did get a win last week, so you're kind of secured. And next week is a race that you're not really looking forward to.
Well, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which way you're looking at it, I will not be racing due to Vet Motorsports volunteering thing, so I will not be here next week.
Oh, well, see, I mean, lucky for you, I guess, if you want to call it that. Anything could happen. But, it's just how it does end up happening. You do finish here, P number 3. Before we let you get on out of here, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Huge shout out to Ryan McCauley. He does things each and every week. These paints are fantastic. He does a great job on them. Thank you to Carl for putting on this series, and thank you for the broadcast.
All right, Chris, we'll go ahead and let you go ahead and celebrate and get unsweaty, because I know you probably, with VR and all that, you might be a little bit sweaty. So we're going to go ahead and let you go celebrate here tonight.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, later, buddy. All right, that was our third place finisher of Chris Hamilton. We're going to go ahead and bring up our second place finisher. The guy who just didn't want to stay away from the lead. It just kept going inside, going outside, going inside, going outside. And it just great racing by you, Mr. Handwork. And second place, can't be too mad about it, even though the number 8 of Kevin Foster was able to come home with the race win.
Yeah, I think Mama's not going to be too happy about that. That her other son won tonight. But yeah, either way, it was fun. I mean, there's a reason I picked this as my combo. These are just they're fun cars. It's a fun track that it's kind of wide open. But I mean, I'm sure you've seen in the broadcast just wherever you want to go. I mean, this thing can go into multiple different lanes if you want to ride the high line, the low line, going up top and go down to the bottom. I mean, just anywhere and everywhere. But when it gets to the end and those tires heat up, it's tough. And once Kevin got by me, I could get some runs on him, but without making a douche pass, it wasn't going to happen, and I wasn't going to do that. As much as it just paints a scary picture for me next week now going into to Monza. I mean, rough estimates. I believe this is going to put me third because obviously Kevin clinched now. Chris has already clinched, so I think this is going to jump me over Thad and over Aaron, and it'll put me highest in points, not by much and not by enough to make Monza feel safe next week.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this race all season. I get to laugh at you guys while you guys got to laugh at me. And, I think maybe next week I'm going to bring in Jimmy as the in-race reporter next week, just to see how he's doing and, just have fun with it.
I'm not going to add to the swear jar. I'm just going to say screw you. And there's certainly some more choice words that are pointed at you. And I'm probably going to be saying even more next week. So, yeah, probably a good thing I was the in-race reporter this week and not next week.
Yeah. I had some choice words for you in the 87s that race too. But all in all, it was still fun, even though I got killed by 5 foot of net code. So
I mean, it's you think tonight was white knuckling, and next week is going to just be ridiculous. I mean, we're going to have, I think the rest of the competitors, other than Metler, unfortunately, we didn't have Metler here tonight, but I mean, it's going to be what, one, two, three, four, five guys for 2 spots, and I don't think anybody is anywhere out of it points wise. It just got real tight between everybody, and then not to mention the wild card is still out there yet, so it's going to be absolutely epic next week. I'm gonna try my best as soon as the race is over to figure out who advanced to the championship, but whew, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, that's kind of what these are the kind of races that the series was made for. It was just good fun racing, not really. Well, I mean, no cautions. A couple people having some issues right there, but other than that, it was just some good old fashioned racing. And I said to Kevin with about like 15 laps to go, I'm like, I just want to say it's been fun the last how many weeks now. Me and you running back up at the front like good old times. I just want to get that out the way now, in case it gets a little shady here at the end. But no, it's fun. It's great to see Kevin back up there in victory circle.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, after he's been trying so hard in the '87s, he's been trying hard in the ARCA cars. Every series that we put on here in Corey, he's always up at the front when it counts. Just some bad luck falls his way. But I didn't want to bring this up, but kind of walk us through what happened to going down pit road. It looks like did you have like a scratchy leg incident, or it just I don't know.
No, you know what? I practiced going into pit lane 100%, probably 3, 4, 5 times in practice. But obviously, I never ran the tires all the way out and then going in. I mean, I backed it up more coming into pit lane. I tried to slow down earlier, but it's just that back end was just hot, heated, and just PO'd. And I tried to slow down as gingerly as possible, and I was kind of just milking the brake pedal left and right just to try and slow it down gently, but it was not having it, and yeah, spun sideways, and luckily it kind of between me hitting the wall and No Maker hitting me, it kind of spun me around facing down pit road, because I mean my wheel was probably a good 45 if not more degrees cocked to the right when I was driving down pit road, and yeah, thank God for a faster pair. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask. I wasn't sure if you used a fast repair because I mean, when you pirouetted into the pit road wall, No Bigger did the exact same thing, and later in the run, it looked like you had a little bit of nose damage. Not sure exactly where you caught it from, but I was like, I don't think Carl uses fast repair, and he's still running out front, so maybe these cars are really tanks, kind of like the next gens.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had nose damage either. I mean, I gave somebody a little bit of a bump at one point, but I mean, I figured these things were good to go. But maybe that's what helped contribute to it just being a little bit more pushy there at the end once I got behind Kevin. That was kind of surprising. I didn't actually know that I had any damage.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. So, I mean, got to take what you can. I mean, a good, strong second place finish. You guys battling back and forth. You led a lot of laps. Kevin led a lot of laps. And before I let you get on out of here and drown in your misery for next week, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to these guys out here. It was a blast running out there tonight. I mean, there was a lot of 2, 3 wide action, and when you're doing it at 180 miles an hour and these cars, it's scary. But these guys kept it clean, kept it green the entire way. So appreciate all the guys out here. Appreciate you stepping in. Obviously, given your circumstances, I know it's nice to maybe get away and get your mind off it. But all I can say is sorry for your loss, and anything that we can do to kind of help you in the situation, and whether it's getting your mind off it or anything like that, we're here. This is a core family here. So appreciate you stepping in here and doing the broadcast, given the circumstances of losing your grandfather. And thanks to the fans out there watching. Hopefully, it was a heck of a show, because I know it was a heck of a show from behind the wheel out there. So thanks to all the fans out there. Hopefully, you're giving Dylan here the thumbs up and the like, subscribe, everything like that for CRN. We certainly appreciate it.
All right, Carl. Well, we'll be seeing you next, Thursday. I forgot you're back in the car, just trying to steal a championship
trying
from.
to beat you down.
Yeah. Just keep kicking me while I'm down. And yeah,
Well, yeah,
that's always a good thing. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and let you get on out of here. Celebrate a second place finish. And we'll be talking to you again. Well, Jimmy will be talking to you again, hopefully on a Thursday night.
All right, thanks,
All
buddy.
right, buddy. All right, that was our second place finisher. Now it's time to move on to our first place finisher, Kevin Hollywood Foster. This Dylan in the booth. Got a copy.
I got you.
All right. Well, Kevin, you made it. You did it. You finally got the Premier Series win. You locked yourself into the championship. I know you're ecstatic. I know you got you got family and friends out there watching, cheering you on every week. And now you can finally say you finally got one over here on the Sunday Night League.
It's been year and a half, a season and a half since no wins last season, and it's been a struggle. It sucked, but brother, we got the monkey off our back.
Yeah, it seems like you're getting your monkey off your back, and you're taking your monkey and putting it on my back. As I was able to finish my first race on Thursday, and that's accomplishment in itself. But you ran one hell of a race here tonight. Had that number 8 machine looking pretty good out there. You and Carl battling for position. It seemed like every other lap you were on the inside or you were on the outside, and that number 18 would not let you pull away whatsoever.
No, he wouldn't, and we were talking in there and just trying to. For a while there, we were trying to get some distance on Chris. So, I would slingshot past him. He would slingshot past me. We're just trying to build up a gap. That way, we can just try to settle it amongst ourselves, and it paid off.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, you guys got out to a 6-second gap before the checkered flag ended up waving, and now that you got a little bit more pressure off of your back, what's Monza going to look like for that number 8 machine next week?
We got a pretty cool paint job coming out for Monza next week. It's going to be a throwback to Monza a couple seasons ago. I get to go out there, just have fun, and turn left. Really, no pressure. So, never really been in that situation before, but it's going to be a new thing for me. But I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, always got to look forward to it. I think you were the final 4 at season 4 when I made the wild card, and we had these exact same cars at Dover.
Dover, yep.
Yeah. See, I mean, you are a proven winner. You can get up to the front. It's just making sure that you're there at the end, and it's always not where you start. It's always where you finish. And Kevin, you ended up getting the win here tonight, so you kind of started towards the back, if I'm not mistaken, maybe qualified up front. And you just stayed patient. You put your car at the right place at the right time, got on the pit road nice and smooth, didn't have the Carl Hedwerk or Nobinger effect, or even Jimmy Covert spinning in pit lane. And I think that's what kind of evidently or ultimately came down to that race win here tonight.
Yeah, I think the ultimate thing was, what gave me the win. I took on all the fuel, and those guys didn't take on enough fuel as far as a full tank. So I think towards the end of that run there, they were definitely getting a lot tighter than I was at the end of the run. So I don't know if that played a part in it, but I was thankful. Thank my lucky stars upstairs, people looking down on me that it was just the right move, right time, and right circumstances. And man, this feels great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I know we got a lot of people out there in the YouTube chat congratulating you. It looks like we got Kelly and it looks like Barry Kistler out there cheering you on, man. You have one of the biggest fan bases, other than James Batzer on Thursday nights, and they're always out there cheering you on, waiting for you to get a win, and it happened here tonight.
Big shout out to Barry. He's always there rooting for me, no matter what. Mama, thank you, I love you. My wife downstairs, I mean, we love the appreciation of you guys broadcasting it, and it's just a fantastic feeling to come out here and do what we love to do for fun on the weekends and through the weeknights. And man, it's just been a blessing. And I mean, condolences to you and your family what you guys are going through. I went through that a couple years ago. It's not fun. It's not hard. It doesn't get any easier. But brother, we're thinking about you.
All right, Kevin, thank you for those very kind words. And we'll actually let you get on out of here, celebrate with the wife, celebrate with the guys up here in the Discord. And we'll be seeing you out there on track again with us, possibly Tuesday night and then Thursday night.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then.
All right, Kevin, you have yourself a good night.
You too, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, that was our race winner of Kevin Foster. We're going to go ahead and run down these final order really quick before we do our last sign-offs. Kevin Foster with the race win here tonight. Carl Henwick in second. Chris Hamilton in third. Paul Butler in fourth. Jimmy Covert in fifth. Aaron Smith in sixth. Abhi Vishwasam in seventh. Thad Marshall in eighth. John Nobinger in ninth. John Crane in 10th. And rounding out your 11 car field is the number 05 of Tim Thompson. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night, as there's going to possibly be 2 streams going on. One with myself as we go to Gateway in the Next Gens for the HTL 8-Pack Challenge. And then shortly after that, you will possibly see Jimmy Covert is going to be live with Carl Hedwerk, Matt Crockett, and Mark Thomas in the booth, giving you guys a little bit of a podcast feel, as they're actually going to be down there on track instead of up in the booth. Give you guys a little bit of a taste and let you guys see that, the CRN broadcasters do race a little bit too. Road course or dirt road or oval, they will be put up to the challenge. Tuesday night, you're going to have myself and Ricky Gonzalez, as we're going to be back in the booth as the ARCA cars take on the Pocono Tricky Triangle and Talladega for another doubleheader before we get into playoffs. No stream on Wednesday, but we will have a stream on Thursday, as I will be back down on the track with Carl Hedwerk and Paul Butler, along with Kevin Foster, as Jimmy Covert and Abhi Vishwasam will be up in the booth calling the action from Nashville Super Speedway. And then we'll be back here after Friday and Saturday's little break. We'll be back up here in the booth on Sunday with the 87s at Monza Left Turning. And that is a race sponsored by yours truly, the broadcaster on Sunday nights. Can't wait for that one. How I get to see what these guys can do. Hopefully there's a big turnout, because that track is a lot of fun. You got to watch out for the jump going into turn number 1. But that's going to do it here for myself tonight. This has been another Court Racing League on CRN. Make sure you guys take care. Brush your hair. My throat is so fucking bad. My throat. I'm still sick. And I was like, I kept having to mute the mic to